Today, we have our guest, Ms. Debbie Avila Westcott. Few words about her. Ms. Debbie Avila Westcott is a successful educationist and an entrepreneur with a vision to hitch her wagons to the stars. She founded the Immaculate Training and Consulting in the year 2005, which trains students and professionals in English and foreign entrance exam coaching. The company caters to corporate training for MNCs. She runs TI Abroad and oversees education and immigration consultancy. She is a member of the Theosophical Society Adyar, Chennai, member of Madras Management Association, Rotarian, and President-elect 2021 Rotary Club of Madras Silver Beach, past President Lions Club of Mylapore, Lion and Lions Club of Royal Ashok Nagar, Chennai till date. Her institution, the Immaculate Training and Consulting, has won the Best Coaching and Overseas Education Provider from Times of India Education Brand Icons 2019 and 2018. She has won the Women Entrepreneurship Award for Education and Social Leadership from Mayan Vista, awarded by the Ministry of Health in Malaysia. We are happy to welcome Ms. Debbie Avila Westcott to our program. Welcome, ma'am. We have seen about your profile, so happy to have you here with us in today's program. To start with, can you just tell us about yourself in a small cutie story form?
Thank you. Born in Madurai, raised in Madurai. I was raised in a village. I studied in the railway school. I did my BBA in Velachaminada College in Madurai. That was again far away from the place I stayed. I had to travel around 20 to 25 kilometers. And then during those years, I mean, from 89 to 92. And after which I completed my MBA. Then I got married after a year. And during that time, I actually had worked after completion of my degree. And after marriage, I was into ready-made garment business. So when I was working, I was a teacher. I taught the 12th standard students. And after which I joined for the B.Ed course, because I come from a family where my mother was the principal of a school. And we always had that, my mother actually wanted to start up a very big school. So we did have a small school, in fact. And after which, when my mother passed away in the year 2000, I thought, I must get into something related to teaching. And I wanted to start up a school. But starting up a school, by then I was in Chennai. Starting up a school is very difficult. I thought I need a lot of money. So I thought I'd start up an institution. And that's how the Immaculate was born in the year 2005. And then there was no turning back. We started a small place for teaching English. After the first month, we started getting a lot of inquiries for IELTS, TOEFL, PT, all those courses related to English and coaching exams. Then since I had done my B.Ed, we started soft skills, which we used to train in companies, in multinational companies here. And the first company to get us was Tech Passion Technologies. And then we were vendors for TCS. We did train in voice and accent and communication skills. And simultaneously, we were into overseas education. So that is how and in the meanwhile, I was very particular about, grooming myself with whatever is in vogue, anything that is related to education. I wanted to always update myself. And with the knowledge that I had in soft skills while doing my B.Ed, it was an added advantage for me to really, pitch into any company, school or college to conduct soft skills. So what was then personality development in the 90s became soft skills after 2000. In the year 2000, the expert panel council actually defined soft skills as, human skills and hard skills and soft skills, and then it evolved. So coming to my family, I'm married and I have a son. My husband is a businessman. My son is a trader now. He has completed his BTech IT and he's a trader. So I'm running this institute, the Immaculate, very successfully uh, for training, overseas education, immigration, and soft skills. So that's about me.
That's wonderful to hear about it. Like you have gone abroad, taken up tie-up with many of the institutions abroad. How was your experience in it?
Actually, most of the universities and colleges, since they had come down and visited us, seeing us featured in the yellow pages then when Google wasn't very familiar. After which, seeing our reviews and the training we offer, and we are into this foreign entrance exam coaching. They had come down and met us. Apart from that, I also have traveled to the Far East, to European countries, and made tie-up with the institutions. We have given them quality students, and yes, international business. Um, when it comes to education, students get this beautiful opportunity to study, work part-time, and settle down, after which we help them with immigration and citizenship. So that's a real, opportunity for students. Instead of going to agents, paying for jobs, not understanding what kind of a job they're going to do, they know the core subject. And if at all they want to change abroad also, they can always switch to other jobs. So we are offering this coaching and then placing them, and we feel much satisfied also sending them abroad. And
What is your success mantra in life?
as I was telling you, I'm very particular about updating myself about whatever is happening, especially when it comes to these days. It is all about technology. Those days it was more of books. I used to spend a lot of time reading quality books related to the profession. I used to read books on even entrepreneurship skills. I do not come from a family that had entrepreneurs, so I kept reading, understanding, watching videos, and I I believe that one should start small. As when you complete your education, work for some time, then start small and dream big. Don't straight away venture into something that you're not very familiar. Have subject knowledge of whatever you do. The subject knowledge is very important, and be motivated. You can listen to a number of motivation speeches, but you have to be motivated yourself in order to grow. So plan and execute your plan. Start very small and then grow big. All those companies that we see today, right from Microsoft to Google and Infosys or whatever, all were born very small. Some of them were started in garages and then they grew this big. So I used to tell students, don't straight away look at Microsoft and say, I want to start something closely related to Microsoft or something very big, because you end up burning your fingers, okay, financially. So an entrepreneur has to take risk. At the same time, you must know how much risk you can take. Whenever we talk about entrepreneurship skills, we always talk, yes, we know that risk is involved. So you need to really plan. You must know if you're able to take this much of risk, and straight away don't pinch your parents' pockets also to start up something. You have an idea, have a unique idea, gain knowledge about your idea, and see how viable it is. Do some market research. When we say market research, students in that frame of mind, they think it is just collecting a project, but you need to do some practical research. And for this purpose, I've asked all my students, you go take up a part-time job, which is not at all familiar in India. In fact, our institution was the first, I think, to tell students to take up part-time jobs, even if you're from affluent families, so that you support yourself and learn to be independent, which will help you become a successful entrepreneur. When I was a kid, I told you I grew up in a village. People in and around my village did not know to speak English. So I used to teach English initially free of cost to all the little children, especially in the corporation schools, Anganwadi. I used to teach them free of cost. After which I started getting many students, and my sisters, what we did, we started charging them 1 or 2 rupees for a month. So that became again, and so automatically, if you see your entrepreneurship skills are born there with you, you will start, okay, this is also a kind of revenue. And I think that is what I'm doing today in a very big way. I'm teaching to the working professionals, students at large. So that is the kind of skills you have to develop. So start small and dream big, keep working and achieving your plan.
That's wonderful. Wonderful to hear that. And a lot of takeaways for the viewers, I guess. So, being a woman, taking up a lot of parallel programs, like you started with Immaculate, and then you have other companies as well. Like,
Yes, yes,
how
yes.
how did you manage your time? Time for yourself, for your family, and for the company. You have won several awards, laurels, lot to add on. How come you managed your time?
Well, that's a very good question, ma'am. Time is something which is equal to every human being has the same amount of time. Time can neither be borrowed or lent. We have to manage time. So managing time is, I advise students and even people who are into similar businesses to have a proper plan, which is very important. Do not look to perfection. If you want to do something very, very perfectly, you will never finish or complete a job, because you will be working only towards perfection. Have a plan to prioritize. Completion of the task is very, very important. And of course, coming to we women, we have a family. We have to wake up in the morning, and when we start off, of course, very small, we do not have a maid or a cook or something like that. And as we grow, you have all those. Straight away, don't bring everything into your life. And as I keep telling students. So, see, we talk to students here about women entrepreneurship. We tell them, even we give them talks, how to grow step by step. So learn to manage them all in a very systematic way, prioritize, and then give importance to completing a task. Do not procrastinate anything. Have time for yourself. That is most important. We keep on working, we are going to lose our health. At one point of time during the day, you must have sufficient time. If you look, take me, I am into various organizations, community service organizations like Lions, Rotary, and people ask me, why do you spend time there? You don't, how do you manage your time? How do you get time to spend time for, when you are into business, you're into Rotary and Lions, how does that work? I said, yes, I need some time to even relax. They're all service organizations. So I contribute a little to the environment, to the needy, and also spend quality time with my family. All these I plan it very well, which I'm able to really manage time. So time for every human being is the same. It all depends upon how we work. Apart from that, I also talk to students, go to colleges, school students, and tell them to talk to, from a very young age, develop this sense of you protecting our environment, which is very, very important. If you do not protect this environment and leave it on for the next generation, who will do? So all this we can do given the time, how we are able to manage time.
Very well said. Wonderful words. I think it should be noted by all the viewers, and they should also start practicing it. So, do you have any hobbies, pastime? How do you spend your pastime? How do you relax or de-stress yourself from the routine?
When I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is I go to my balcony. I spend time with a few plants. I have about 4 or 5 plants. I go and view these. I stand there and I just gaze around. Okay, I'm very. I mean, environmentally, I would love to do a lot of things. If I had really more than 24 hours, I would sit there, relax, spend some time with my plants. Then I read for some time. I pray, I spend some time with God. I do a little meditation, not for a very long time. And then while I'm sipping my coffee, I'll start replying to all my messages. Whatever I do, I have been doing it with a passion. So my work is my hobby, and I spend my time in such a way that that is my hobby. I don't look at my work as my hobby. I don't look at trying to do something else for the sake of saying that I do have a hobby. Whatever I do it with passion. So if you will start loving every single thing that you do. So I've been telling students the same thing. Go ahead and love whatever you do. So you will always be a happy person. We also talk to students about happiness, how to be happy doing whatever you are doing.
Doing things which gives you happiness is different. Whatever you do it with passion.
Yes.
Is what your message is.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. That will keep you really happy.
Exactly. Happiness counts a lot more than anything
Yes.
else
Yes.
in our life.
Yes.
That's great. Wonderful, ma'am. So all of us would have come across a lot of challenges, hurdles. When we have a target, we definitely have some hurdles in between. You might have also had such hurdles in your life. So life as well as in business. How did you overcome that and how did you reach success?
Yes, ma'am. See, as women, we have to manage our time, number one. Secondly, financially, we may face some hurdles. So you need to plan very well for that. Then once you are into a family, you need to spend quality time with your children. And when you venture out to do business, you may not have the knowledge of everything you want to do, how to approach customers, how to network, where to draw the line, when you should meet people, how you may close a deal. All these I learned out of experience, reading books. One or two times, even I have failed in many business deals. Though I have closed many successfully, I have also failed. Whenever I failed, I've tried to understand where did I go wrong. The language I spoke was not the language of business. So I have personally developed a model where I analyze whatever I fail, and then I plan a success mantra where, especially, I have learned one thing: you need to network with people. You need to refer people to others, create opportunities. We have this BNI organization, which all of us are familiar for. It is a beautiful concept where there are about say 25 people, and of course they keep referring each other's business. Before this concept was born, I have been referring people. I did not know anything about BNI. I have been referring people and maintaining long-term relationships where they in turn kept referring me to to the relevant business that I do. So I used to network a lot with people. I used to go and meet people, talk to them, and even if I meet people outside, I build a relationship with them. So I think as women, we should come out of that shell and think that you can talk to people across the globe. Today we are tied up with each and every university uh, across the globe in all the nook and corners, because we should not hesitate anymore that okay, women, we are not supposed to talk to men after you know 6 o'clock or so. Our business time, for example, when we are working with Canada, we are interacting up to 11:13, 12. So you must know what to talk, how to talk, draw the line, understand people. If people are getting on a bad note with you, try to avoid, make them understand. Do not tell them straight off, okay, this is not the way to speak. Tell them, see, we are in a business relationship, because most people have come, how are you able to talk to so many people whom you don't even know across the globe? So tell them we are in a business relationship. This is how we should talk. I don't think if you're saying something like this, if they were to misbehave or talk to you something out of the way, you can tell them, this is, see, we are in a business relationship. We need to take things forward. You need to work for your company and I need to work for my company. We need to grow. Make people understand rather than criticizing somebody if at all they are wrong. Especially when it comes to us women, we need to have that frame of mind. Yes, I am here for what I want and I do not need anything more than that. So if you can convey that message very strongly, you will always be successful.
Wonderful. So being a woman into business needs lot of care to be taken, and you have given a wonderful guidelines for all the women viewers of our interview now. It's great, nice. A line of demarcation is required, and your communication should be to the point and professional, so that you don't go beyond it and get into
Yes.
problems also.
Yes.
Wonderful. So what are your future plans as of now?
My future plans are to expand across the globe, especially after COVID-19. I could see that now virtual learning is taking off in a very big way, and we have reworked our website. So where we are planning to, cater to students. We are already into this business for the past 15 years, and for the past 7 to 8 years, we have been training across the globe, providing foreign entrance exams and English language training, soft skills to students outside India. So after post this COVID-19, from now on, we are planning to cater to students all over the world and sign up with businesses, and even expand our business to other countries very easily, because virtual offices, and we can cater to a larger number of audience.
So, as a leader in your domain, what would you suggest to the future upcoming entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs or the younger student community?
Stay, sustain, and succeed in a business. That is what I've been telling people. Just for the sake of starting up something, do not venture into something that you do not know. Gain knowledge, or if you are not working, take up a job, understand the business, keep updating yourself step by step, not all at one time. Of late, I can see everybody into digital, starting to learn digital marketing. But why should each and every person, for example, if you are an architect and you're a business person, you don't have to really put all this marketing strategies. You do not have to do it in digital marketing platform. It is not necessary, because somebody else is going to take away your business. So you need to understand into what kind of business you are, and then learn the next level, how to market your business. And as I said, networking is very important, and establish good contacts, and do not hesitate to connect with someone who's very small, or you don't always aim to say, I must only connect with big people. No, somebody who's into very big business. That's not the way business really takes off. Anybody could help you in your marketing strategies. Especially today, you have this affiliate marketing. Many of you, the people are now slowly getting to know this. So do not underestimate anybody's worth. Learn from your employees, learn from every person around you, from the people who are doing even menial jobs. Learn from them, so that you stay and you succeed.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. You have given a lot of takeaways for the viewers. It's wonderful having you here. So once again, I thank you for coming to our program and for your valuable time and interest.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
We'll meet you all again with another wonderful women entrepreneur. Thank you.